Picture this, a simple gold ring that looks completely ordinary, yet it holds the power to enslave entire worlds. What would you do if you discovered that your beloved uncle's magic trick ring was actually the most dangerous object in existence? This is exactly what happens to our unlikely hero, and trust me, his birthday party will never be the same again. The Shire, where heroes are born in the most unlikely places. The birthday that changed everything. Imagine living in the most peaceful place on earth. Rolling green hills, cozy hobbit holes, and the biggest worry being whether you'll have enough cake for a second breakfast. That's the Shire, and that's where our story begins with Bilbo Baggins, throwing the party of the century for his 111th birthday. But here's where it gets interesting. Bilbo has a secret. That ring he uses for his disappearing trick. It's not just any ring. When the mysterious wizard Gandalf confronts him about it, Bilbo's reaction is, let's just say, not what you'd expect from your typical jolly old hobbit. Engagement hook. Have you ever had a family heirloom that turned out to be more valuable than you thought? Drop your stories in the comments. The inheritance nobody wanted. Enter Frodo Baggins, young, curious, and about to inherit the worst family heirloom in history. When Gandalf reveals that this precious ring is actually the one ring of the Dark Lord Sauron, Frodo's quiet life gets turned completely upside down. Here's the terrifying truth. Sauron is back, and he's hunting for his ring. Every second Frodo keeps it makes him more of a target. The solution: leave everything behind and embark on a journey that will either save Middle-earth or destroy it entirely. The Fellowship forms. When strangers become family, the Council of Elrond. The ultimate strategy meeting picture, the most important meeting in history, where the fate of the world hangs in the balance. Representatives from every race, elves, dwarves, men, and hobbits, gather to decide what to do with an object so evil that even touching it corrupts your soul. The debate is intense. Should they use the ring's power, hide it, destroy it? But there's a catch. The only way to destroy it is to throw it back into the fires of Mount Doom, right in the heart of enemy territory. Mind-blowing moment. When Frodo volunteers for this suicide mission, the room falls silent. A small hobbit just volunteered to walk into the equivalent of enemy headquarters with their most wanted object. The Fellowship, an unlikely dream team. What happens when you combine a determined hobbit with a death wish, a wise wizard with secrets, a legendary ranger with a mysterious past, a proud elf archer, a fierce dwarf warrior, a noble human warrior, and 3 loyal hobbit friends who refuse to be left behind? You get the Fellowship of the Ring, possibly the most mismatched group of heroes ever assembled. Yet, somehow, they work perfectly together. The journey begins. From bad to worse, the mines of Moria, when ancient evils awaken the Fellowship's journey through the abandoned dwarf kingdom of Moria is like walking through a horror movie set. Imagine vast halls that once rang with laughter and celebration, now filled with darkness and the bones of the dead. But the real terror comes when they awaken something that should have stayed buried. A creature so ancient and powerful that even Gandalf fears it. The Balrog is a demon of shadow and flame, and when it appears, our heroes realize they're completely out of their depth. Heartbreaking moment. Just when you think our heroes might escape, Gandalf makes a choice that changes everything. His last words to the Fellowship will give you chills. Fly, you fools. The breaking point. When heroes fall apart after losing their guide and protector, the Fellowship begins to crumble. Boromir, the proud warrior, becomes obsessed with the ring's power. His confrontation with Frodo reveals just how corrupting the ring's influence can be. Even the noblest hearts are unimmune. The choice that changes everything, Frodo's impossible decision, standing at the edge of everything he's ever known. Frodo faces an impossible choice. The weight of the world literally rests on his shoulders, and he's just a hobbit who wanted nothing more than to tend his garden. The cliffhanger. Just when Frodo thinks he's alone, a voice calls out from behind him. Sam Gamgee, his loyal gardener and friend, appears with words that will define their entire journey. I'm going with you, Mr. Frodo. Why this story still matters today. The Fellowship of the Ring isn't just about magic rings and fantasy creatures. It's about ordinary people doing extraordinary things when the world needs them most. It's about friendship, sacrifice, and the courage to do what's right, even when it seems impossible. The genius of Tolkien's story lies in how he makes us believe that anyone, even the smallest person, can change the course of history. In a world that often feels overwhelming, that's a message we all need to hear. Discussion starters for your audience before you go. Let's discuss the power question. If you found a ring that could make you invisible but slowly corrupted your soul, would you use it? How long do you think you could resist its power? The friendship test. Which member of the Fellowship would you want by your side in a crisis? Loyal Sam, wise Gandalf, skilled Legolas. Tell us why in the comments. The hero's journey. Frodo starts as a comfortable hobbit who's never left his hometown. What's the biggest risk you've ever taken to help someone else? The sacrifice dilemma. Boromir wanted to use the ring to save his people. Was he wrong to try? Sometimes the line between hero and villain isn't as clear as we think. The ultimate question. Tolkien wrote this story after experiencing the horrors of World War I. Do you think his message about small acts of courage changing the world is more relevant now than ever? Ready for the next part of the journey? Let me know in the comments if you want to see the two towers break down next. And do not forget to share your thoughts on which fellowship member you choose as your adventure companion. Fun fact, to leave them wanting more. Did you know that Tolkien created entire languages for his characters before he even wrote the story? The dedication to world building is so intense that linguists still study Elvish today. What other mind-blowing details about Middle-earth do you want to know?